Hi YouTube, this is Ed0849 here, and today I'm doing another update on my Engage exhibition layout. I've done, to be honest, not a massive amount of work actually, but it looks like a lot of work, so I thought it was a good place. I've done a lot of work that you can't actually see, and I'll come back to that in a minute. But we're going to start off with the actual scenery changes that you can see, and I'm going to just talk through my plans and so on. So over here, obviously what I've done is I've just cut well, from a sheet of polystyrene. It's about 1.5 inches thick. One piece here laid on the bottom and over on the top. And this is actually going to be the final height of it, so it's not a very high layout scenery wise, but as you can see it's very clunky at the moment, so it's going to be a lot of shaping involved. But basically by the time that this one here gets to here, I want it to be at the same level as this, top of this, and by the time this piece gets to the wood, I want the top of this to be the same level as the wood, so it's like a slope that goes all the way up. There's going to be a lot of cutting to move. It's going to be an absolute mess, so I'm probably going to do that outside actually. I'm going to do the same on this side here to slope it down, except I'm going to leave about maybe a 20mm gap, 2 centimetre gap all the way along, and then I'm going to fix a wall to it to give the effect that it was cut away, so put a wall up to retain it, and then they built a station in the middle in front of it, and I think that will look really good, give a really nice effect. As you can see, there is a nice big dip here. The reason for that, it's going to be painted black, it's going to have no scenery on it, and the reason for that is so I can get to the controls, the levers here. Now my plan is to almost stick a clear plastic sheet on the front so people can't lean over and change points and so on, and then the bottom half of it, basically up to the height of this here, is going to be the same brick or stone sheet that goes on here to hide basically the bottom of the mechanism, and then you'll be able to see the levers at the top and you'll be able to see everything at the bottom moving. I think that'll give a really nice effect for people just to, you know, see a point, see a lever be moved, and then the point clicks over on the other side, and I think that looks really good. So that's the sort of plan I've got for here. I'll come back to that in a minute. I've also created, I'm not sure what I'm going to do here. At the moment it's a tunnel mouth, but I could very easily just cut off these top pieces here. And I'll just get the train on the track. Basically the height of it is about the right height for the loco. So push her back there, stick my hand behind it. You can just about see the height. There's good clearance on the top, about 10mm clearance, so it is quite high. And yeah, good clearance. It sort of gives an end to the station on this side here without the track looking like it ends. It sort of gives like a bit of distance to it. And the way I'm going to carry on that distance on this side is I'm going to build trees, about 4 trees or so here, nicely tightly packed together, so the loco will kind of disappear off through the trees and out onto the fiddle yard, and I think it will look really good like that. So that's the sort of plan I've come up with. Right, going back to this here. Now, hopefully you remember from last time, so I'm just going to place the camera down, give me a minute. Hopefully you can remember from last time that these 2 levers here moved all the way, like so, and these 2 middle ones only moved about halfway like that. Well, it's taken me about an hour or so, an hour and a half maybe, of fiddling, adjusting the points, adjusting the length of these rods you can see down here, and the lengths of plastic and so on, and I've managed to now make it so that these levers here go all the way over like so, nice and easily, and it changes all the points without pulling anything really too tight or anything silly like that. So it's worked really well actually, so it now gives it a full movement. If you remember the last video I said they don't move all the way because an end of the throw on an N gauge point is smaller than the throw on a double O gauge point. Well, yeah, since then I've actually just fiddled with it and it now works really nicely, so it now slides from front to back, as you can see there. And it just works really nicely, so that's really good news. And that's the reason why I decided to put up this clear face. You can actually see the levers being moved. I thought that would look really good. So obviously now I've fixed that, they're all working, all the points are working really nicely. I've tested them and they all throw nicely, which is really good. Now the next thing I've been doing is I've been trying to work on, obviously I said I'm going to put drop wires on every piece of track and so on. Well, soldering drop wires onto N-gauge track is actually really difficult. So what I've decided to do is I've actually soldered all the pieces of track together. So every join, I've soldered it. I've only done this half of the layout. Basically what happened is my soldering iron broke, and inside the end is an old tip, soldering iron tip, and it broke off, so the screw bit is still jammed inside. I can't get it out. I have tried sort of drilling through it and so on, it just will not come out, so I'm going to have to buy a new soldering iron, but there's nothing too wrong with that because it was quite an old soldering iron, so it's not too bad. So I'm basically stuck on both layouts because I haven't got a soldering iron, which is kind of irritating because the double O gauge layout, I found out a problem when I flick one set of points, so I will hopefully you know, sort it out and fix it, basically. But it's not too difficult, it's just a matter of soldering the wire. Sorry, it's me rambling on about the wrong layout, but anyway. So here, obviously, you can just see a nice bit of solder in there and in there. Then I've got to add the black sleepers underneath the track here. I am going to attempt to paint these tracks to weather them down. Now, so I saw you can now buy basically a felt tip pen that you can just paint, that you can just basically draw on the tracks, and it's permanent and it sticks there. And then, like you do when you paint, you then just rub off the top layer. I think that will give a really nice sort of dulled down effect, but I have to try and find where I can buy this pen from. I don't even know which company makes it. Probably someone like Woodland Scenics. So I'm going to look for that, and hopefully then that will give another sort of depth to this layout by weathering down all the points and everything. So yeah, I'll just go back to the soldering. I'm planning on putting some drop wires down, still planning on doing that, but only here, here, and then one on either of these two tracks here. Then having isolating switches so I can kill the track. For instance, I could kill one of these tracks here, which just stops, you know, locos moving or anything silly like that when I don't want them to. So that's the sort of thing that I've planning on doing. I've decided I'm just going to go out and buy an N-Gauge it's Graham Farish N-Gauge controller. I think that they work, well, it's quite standard. No DCC is needed here, so they should be nice and cheap, about £12 or something if I can find one. And then I'll be running that in the fiddle yard area. Then I'll just simply just wire it up. It will work really well. So that is kind of it for this update. I haven't done much more. It's sort of as is, or as was even. Just come up with a few ideas for scenery. Now the station I'm planning on building myself. This could be very tedious, but it's going to have a flat, obviously a top bed to it, and then there's going to be about 10 individual stands that are going to be made look out of wood, and those are going to spread from here to here, maybe 15, 10 or 15 of them or so. Spread them all the way along, then I'm going to place the platform on the top. Now the reason for that is then you can actually see from the front, look underneath the platform, and you'll still be able to see all these moving parts. This one here, for instance, all the wiring is going to be ballasted under there. There's going to be lots of sort of weathered down grass and just dirt and dust under there. I think that will just give it just basically another dimension, because you can sort of see underneath the station, which most people don't do. Most people just stick a station on the top, and that they will also give the effect of it's a lot older, the station, as it's going to be made out of wood rather than out of something, you know, well, out of stone or so on. And because of that, this area here is going to be a small car park. There's going to be a path running down to the stairs at the back, which is then going to go up into a ticket office of some form. I might be buying the ticket office, basically because I don't know how big to make the platform. So if anyone does work in N-Gauge and has brought a ticket office made out of stone, I think the red brick one will be the same size though, then you can, if you, well, it would be useful if someone could just send me the width dimension of it so I know how wide I need to build my station. That would be really useful. Otherwise I'm just going to go out and buy one, so I'm going to probably use it anyway. So yeah, that's quite good. So that is basically the update of this layout. I want to say thanks for watching. If you have any comments, then please leave them below, and hit that subscribe button if you want to carry on following how this progress is going. Without the soldering iron, there's not been another update for a little while. Hopefully I'll get one this week sometime though. So thanks for watching.